not gonna believe what just happened. I just did like a 3-hour video of me making a wreath, and it took so long because I was running around looking for some ribbon and running my mouth and everything else. I mean, that was a long video. I was gonna edit it down. Well, the very last like 2 minutes of the video, I went to it ended. So I went to hit record again to pick back up to show y'all the final, the final look of the wreath. And it says, memory card full. Do you want to erase? I'm like, yeah. So I started going back through my old stuff from years and years ago. So I thought, and I started deleting, some videos to make some more room to finish up the video. Well, did that, finished up the video. Went to edit the video, and the stuff that I deleted was like the first 2 hours and like 30 minutes of the video that I was doing right then. I'm not doing this back over again. So the chat part, we can talk right now. I'm gonna show y'all me finishing up my wreath because I was running my mouth to y'all about what I'm planning to do. Yesterday, I made me a makeup bag. Correction. Yesterday, I said I was going to attempt to make a makeup bag. So what I did, which you do not do, I can tell y'all so much stuff not to do when it comes to sewing projects. I had started watching a video tutorial on how to make a makeup bag. I'm like, okay, cool. This one's simple, easy little steps and whatever. So I start writing down, the size of the fabric and all that kind of stuff. Then I was like, you know what? I done made full tote bags, lining, pockets, everything. I got this. So I said, you know what? I want my bag to be about this size. So let me cut up some fabric about the size that I want. So I started cutting up the fabric, the outside, the liner, all that. And the fusible interface. Cut up all that. Then I was like, you know what? Let me see this other video. I think it's real simple, and I think I'm just going to follow the tutorial. So I started watching a different video, the tutorial. And I said, okay, I'm going to go by this one because the steps were easy. I watched the video like 5 times. So I started looking at the video, and she was like, okay, for a small one and a large one, this is the size you need. For the small one, this is the size. I'm like, well, mine's not that big as the size she said for the small one, but it'll work. So I started following the video. Y'all, it did not work. I was like, dang, I don't know why I keep trying to make little bitty stuff when I know I do best with big stuff because it gives me plenty of room for the seam allowance. I cannot stand teeny tiny little seam allowances with this machine. So the first way I went wrong was, y'all, here is my makeup bag. Does this look like a makeup bag to y'all? This thing was supposed to be about this tall with box corners and nice, and no. First thing that I did wrong was I changed my mind. So I got everything. This is quilted. It has the interface on the lining inside. When I started quilting, I was like, I'm going to make it 5/8. Well, I forgot to get my fabric marker when I went out today. And I was like, dang. Make sure you get it so I can redo the project. Didn't get it. So since I didn't have it yesterday, I was like, well, instead of me marking it, I'm just going to sew, and then I'm going to line up the measurements with the little line on my sewing machines, and then I'll just keep doing that and be able to sew, the spacing that I want. So I sewed, and I was like, okay, it's going to be 5/8 of an inch. So I moved it over to the 5/8, sewed down, 5/8 sewed down the panels. That's what I did. But about 5 in, I was like, this is taking too long. Well, I'll do those 5 on the front, 5/8, and the rest of an inch. And then at the end, I'll do 5/8 again. So it'll be like 5/8 close, and then inch, then 5/8. Then I was like, okay, you know what? Once I got to the second panel, I'm just going to do it all an inch. Did that. So the front and the back is different on that. I thought the zipper was going to be the hardest part. It was not. I have made everything, every purse, tote bag, all that stuff that I've made. where I have it, you know, where it was weighted and, you know, good sturdy, you know, everyday purse, stuff like that. I've boxed corners. No issue in the world boxing corners, except when I got to this. Now the tutorial, she was telling you the size to box the corners, but since it was smaller, the boxed corners were crazy looking. And when I was boxing the corner, it was going almost up to the zipper. I was about to cut the zipper, so I had to shorten one box corner. The other box corner was the right size, and then it was just a mess. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, okay, I'll just close it all up. Won't have box corners on this side. So the right side, this one has round corners. This one round. This one somewhat boxed. And this one, no. So I'm like, oh, really? And then I wasn't catching it all because when I went to close it, just to close it up to be done with it, I was missing layers. And of course, that didn't work out. And then the whole thing, for some reason, is crooked. And the only thing that I did somewhat decent was I added this on the side. Mind you, I messed it up at first, had it going the wrong way, had to rip it up and put it the way she said in the video. But y'all, this thing is all messed up. And then the interface, the way she did it, I wasn't going to do it the way she did it, because it's all preference. But I'm thinking this should have an interface to it. So I interfaced that, and then I was like, is that enough interface? I thought it was all the same size, and it was a little bit off. And epic fail. I don't know what I can do with this little lopsided monstrosity, but I need to focus. I need to quit jumping all over the place. If you're going to follow the tutorial, completely follow that tutorial. Do it right. If you want to adjust the sizes or whatever, bigger, smaller, or whatever, make sure you do that before you start the project, and that you make adjustments for the whole thing, because those box corners should have been maybe 1/2 inch versus 1.5 inches once I had cut my fabric smaller than what she was saying on the video. I'm like, oh no. So also another thing is, I said I wanted to do this, you know, go full force, full time on this, build my store up and all that stuff. The thing about it is I got to get my products together before I can start doing my store. And I need to set up at some events to see what's selling and what's not selling, because I don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff in stock and it's not selling at my craft shows. Even though I keep hearing online and craft shows, sometimes they have different clienteles and everything. Oh, I mean, not clienteles, different product preferences. Like at a craft show, you might sell out of, you know, scrunchies. But online, people prefer, you know, makeup bags or something like that. Also, I don't like putting labels in my products. I really don't. I prefer like a hang tag or something like that. But everyone always saying how it's all about branding. And the best way to brand is to add labels to your product. When it comes to the hang tags, people can tear those off, throw them in the trash, never think about you again. But if your label is in it, it's a constant reminder in case they like it or want to refer you out. They can just look in their product and get the name. Now, when it comes to bags, I don't like the labels outside. I was going to try some outside. That's why I ordered some flat labels off of Etsy. But I prefer my labels to be inside. So the flat labels that I have, I think I'm going to put those inside. And then I might go to the, you know, regular labels that I have, the foldable ones, put those inside. But when it comes to scrunchies, I asked some people in a Facebook group when I start making scrunchies and adding my labels. They were saying they don't prefer labels in scrunchies because scrunchies are small and the bulk of it, and it might, you know, if you have a solid black scrunchie, you don't want a big white tag hanging out of it when you're trying to color coordinate and match and all that. But it's all about branding. I don't know. Should I add labels to scrunchies or should I do the hang tags? Let me show y'all the hang tags. Now I have to switch out these tags because this is my old brand. Here we go. I like these. This is my mini. And this is my regular. I like these tags better because you can hang up, and then it has this, and you can add website and everything on the back. You can basically turn these into like a mini info card, business card on the back. But that's what I like right there versus putting a tag in them. What do y'all think? Should I do the tags on the product or should I do the hang tags? But inside my projects, I don't mind, you know, inserting tags inside of those so they can always look and see, you know, the name of it if they want to refer it out or if they want to get another one, and looking up the name on who made this, because I got, you know, all the social medias for Sense of Paradise. But yeah, but y'all, I went to Joann's today and I got some fabric. Finally, they lowered the price good enough to buy, at least within my price range to buy. They go out of business. Well, they're closing down for good. I think May 28th is what the lady said. But it was 60% off the cotton, 70% off the pre-cut fabric, and then it was 80% off the 80% off the fleece. So I grabbed a couple of these were on clearance for $1. Well, discounted to $1. Normally $10, 90% off. So the mesh is $10. Only grabbed 2 of those. I also got a couple of these. These are the 5-piece fabric bundles, 18 by 21. I grabbed this tan one. This one was $3.30. And it has all these different fabrics in it. That was a light one. And then I grabbed this little fat quarter. I liked all the little carrots and flowers. This was, I think, 90 cents or 80 cents. And then I got some serger thread. I'm planning to make some more jelly roll rugs. And she was saying that this serger thread is good and it's cheap and it does the job and you get a bunch of it. So I got different colors. These were like $1.80, $2. I got different colors, brown, red. I think I got a cream color and like a light pink. They didn't have any black or white. I was looking, but they didn't have any. How much was that? Yeah, $1.80 each. And then I grabbed a couple of fabrics. I have a zipper, what do you call it? A zipper pouch that I'm gonna be making. And I think this would be pretty. This is the cotton canvas. And then here's another little pre-cut bundle. Focus, come on. And then I grabbed some red with little white dots on it. Well, white with little red dots. And some blue and white to go with the other one. I had to get 2 yards of each one. So the navy polka dot 2 yards was $4.79. And the paisley one was $10.39, the heavy canvas one. And the red with the Swiss dots, $4.79 for 2 yards of it. 60% off. And yeah, 60% off the fabrics. 70% off the pre-cut fabrics. And then 90% off the mesh, and 60% off the cones of thread. So y'all, I need to focus and get my product line together. I know I'm going to have some scrunchies. I'm still working on a couple of projects to see how they do, to see about adding those. But the bows, like the bow tie kind for hair bows, I was going to make those in small and large. I've made those and I like the way those came out. The scrunchies, the wristlets, I've seen a pattern that I want to follow. Really simple. The only difference is it's a wristlet instead of the lanyards, and I was making mainly lanyards, and it has stabilizer in it to make it a little bit sturdier, more structure. I like that. Mine were too flimsy, so I'm gonna try that. Also, I'm going to try the straight bookmarks, the bookmark corners. I don't think I'm gonna roll with those. I'm gonna do the straight bookmarks, and also some zipper pouches. And I'm going to get the makeup bags right, if that's the last thing I do. But my next project, I gotta recoup, because that piece of crap makeup bag that I made yesterday. And my husband, bless his heart, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It looks good to me. Like, this is garbage. I wouldn't give this to the dog. It's garbage, y'all. But I'm gonna do the makeup, not the makeup, the zipper pouch. That's gonna be my next project. That looks so simple, and I was like, I know I can do that. I'm not worried. When I made this, I thought the zipper was just gonna give me grief. It did not. That was the easiest thing to put on, was the zipper, and it wasn't giant gaps or messed up or anything. That's like the only decent thing I did on this whole freaking thing, was putting a zipper in where there was no gaps, and it wasn't too crazy off-centered and stuff when I was, sewing in it. But them box corners, I can't believe they did me like that. Follow instructions completely if you're gonna do it. But I do like, the feel of it with the cotton. I have the quilted cotton, and I also wanted it a little bit thicker just in case I didn't want it, if I wanted it sturdier. So I got the regular quilted cotton, and then I have the double quilted cotton. I think I'm gonna like that one better. It's gonna be really structured. I'm not gonna have the stabilizer in it, because the one that I saw, she used stabilizer and quilted cotton on the outer piece. She didn't put any kind of stabilizer or interfacing. She didn't use any kind of interfacing on the liner. She just wanted it to be structured on the outside. So I was like, you know what? I got the double cotton, quilted cotton up there. I'm gonna use that for the outside piece, and the inside, I'm just gonna iron it down and put it in there and see how that looks. But I'm still testing right now. My machine was giving me all kinds of grief yesterday. It was the foot, the quilted foot. I had the quilted foot on there, and the way the little hole is on the quilted foot, the little round hole, if you're off center, like left, right, or anything, when I would put it on 3, it was the way it's supposed to be. 1 or 2, if the needle went down, it would hit the plate and break. Well, when I was adjusting it, because I was having all kinds of problems. I was trying to use the, my machine has a threader on there, you hit the little thing on the side and it threads the needle for you. Well, it kept catching because it was at the wrong setting. So I had to move my machine over to 3 so the little hand could thread it. The little claw thing could thread it. And when I was doing that, it got stuck. It wasn't going. It stopped coming out. I'm like, why is it doing that? So I'm up there hitting 1, 2, and 3 trying to adjust the needle compartment because it was slightly moved. And when I finally got the little rethreader unstuck, it was in the wrong position to sew in, where if it went straight down, it was going to hit the plate and break. Well, I kept forgetting that. So once it threaded, I lined it, the fabric back up there, and let's get this done. I hit the thing, bam, right on top of the plate, break the needle. I'm like, I broke like 2 or 3 needles yesterday, and of course, I had just, they were new needles, and they were my jean ones. I'm like, the heavy duty needles. I'm like, crap. So I finally said, you know what, screw this foot, and I put on just a regular foot, and I was sewing with that, no issues, because the walker foot, I had that on at first. You have like no room at all to put anything. So walker foot really does smash everything. But what I was trying to do, I needed a little room to stick it under there and pull it out, and and it was too hard because it kept getting stuck. So y'all, I was having all kinds of problems with that machine yesterday and those feet, and I kept losing stuff, and I was just beyond frustrated. All that to come out with this little crappy piece of crap bag. But I learned some stuff. I can put these in. I was like, how are they putting those in? Right. Got that sorted. Zipper, was not tripping at all on the zipper. All my, I got different color zippers. I got the 3, the 5 in white. And then I got multicolors in 3 by the yardage. And I added my own little, add this to it. I got it by the roll, basically. So, y'all, yesterday, I'm glad I remembered to take my blood pressure pill, that's all. But this little crappy piece of crap bag, that was my first attempt. At least I know I can put a zipper in. That's about all I can do. But I'm gonna attempt that next week. But my next project is gonna be a zipper pouch. I need a win. And that zipper pouch looks super simple. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do a zipper pouch, see how that works. And then I'm gonna make a few more, change up the fabric, and then I'm gonna go back to the makeup bags. But the video that I took hours and hours to do for y'all, just to chat and me making me a patriotic wreath for my front door, because Memorial Day is next week. Well, today's Saturday, so on the 24th, I believe it is. I don't have my calendar up. It's a Memorial Day. And, 4th of July, Juneteenth, all that red, white, and blue, God bless America time is creeping up. So I'm going to get a red, white, and blue. I made a red, white, and blue wreath for my front door. And I did a long video showing y'all what I was doing, how to prep it, everything. But what y'all are going to see is me basically getting the ribbon together to make my bundles. And it starts there. The rest of it, my stupid self ended up deleting it when I was trying to clear up some memory for my camera, because it said card full. So after I upload this and edit it, I'm going to completely wipe my card out, so I will have plenty of space to make videos for y'all. So y'all, if y'all have any comments or questions, drop them below for me, please. But here it's what's left over from the footage of me making my patriotic wreath. And this is a pretty glittery one. And I don't have any more. So what I was thinking, is just using the solid ones for my bundles, my ribbon bundles. I don't know. Give me a hot second. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do red, white, and blue bundles. So, I'm gonna do them 8 inches. And I'm gonna make something, make 6 bundles to, let's see. So I'm gonna need 6 of each one of these 6 8-inch pieces of each one of the ribbon, red, white, and blue. For 2 more. I swear. That's the bad thing about buying pieces. That's the bad thing about buying partial rolls. Never have enough. 2, 4, 5. I had a whole giant roll of this one. Let me go find that. It's irking me that I can't find it. Oh well, it's somewhere. Work with what you got. But I'm just gonna have to work with this, y'all, because I do not remember where I put that white roll, and it was a big roll, about that big, of white, this ribbon. Because I was like, oh, I got a whole roll of white. And y'all know me. I'm going to get up after this cut here and I'm going to find that freaking thing if I have to tear this whole freaking ribbon up. So I'll be right back. Victory. I found it. I knew I had it. I knew it. Y'all, I'm tired. I had to go crawling and lifting all kinds of boxes. This right here, y'all, this is probably half of my ribbon and probably 3/4 of my mesh on these shelves. I'm tired. Whew. So 4, 3, 5, I need one more piece to make 6. But I knew I had more of this. I knew it. So I'm gonna make bundles, 6 bundles, red, white, and blue. I did all that for one tiny little 8-inch piece. And let me go ahead and finish cutting this and I'll be right back when I'm through. to the side here. And now it's time to add my bundles. The thing about the bundles that I've come to realize since I've been making wreaths, what I would usually do is add all these beautiful bundles and all that, and the last thing I would add would be my sign. Well, once I placed my sign, you couldn't see like half of my bundles. So I was like, well, what's the point? So then I started putting bundles around the outside, but then the center started looking a little plain because you couldn't even see bundles peeking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to have some bundles peeking out from behind the sign, from the middle, and then I'm going to also have just a few on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I always put my ribbon at an angle. So I put it at an angle, and then I just end up doing it like this, like that. So I'm going to have this one right here peeking from behind, and I'm through with the Chanel stem. Let me get my snippers. And then I just bend that down. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it in the same arrangement all the way around. Usually I mix it up, but yeah. Put one over here inside this blue one, because all I want is a few bundles peeking from behind the sign. I finished snipping all these to show y'all what it's looking like so far. I'm going to add some of this. Okay, everybody, here's what it's looking like so far. It's coming along, it's coming along. But your girl is extra, so I still got stuff to add to it. I could just leave it like this, but I don't want to. So what I'm going to do now is add, you know, a little some extra to it. Mainly, I'm gonna add some stars. Gonna add some stars to it. So let me plug up my hot glue stick here, or my glue gun. I'm not really doesn't even need these. I might save these for another project because I'm busy and extra already. So but these, I'm gonna add all these little stars. I got a whole nother bag of stars. Y'all be buying too much stuff. And then these three here, I didn't need these after all. So this will go in here for another project. So let me go ahead and add my foam stars. And where I connected my my pieces before. Oh no, my glue gun ain't broke. Let me let it warm up some more. But where I got my attached my little stringy necklace that I cut up, I'm gonna put a star over that to cover up those little spots. And also my bow, I'm gonna see what it's looking like because I might not even need a bow because I really like it the way it is without a bow. So let me So basically, I go down to 1, fold it over to 16, and to be sure, I go put it back on 1 since it's folded over, goes to 8 inches, and then at 7 inches is where I squish it up and put it in here. So my loops will end up being 7 inches because I'm gonna need that extra inch to wrap up my Chanel stem around it. And add a Chanel stem. And then dovetail my ends. And then I just trim this down. You know what? Usually I use a zip tie, but it'll be alright. So then you just fluff out your bow. And then you can spread out your tails. Okay, y'all, and here is the finished product. I got stars, there's the bow, and here it is. Let me give y'all a close up. There you go. And here's the bow, right there on the side. This took a while, but here it is, and here's some detail of my little danglies here and there. But y'all, here it is. Y'all have any comments or questions, drop them below. Please subscribe, turn on that notification bell. I know, shameless plug. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.